Being old, lonely, and desperate, does it equal being a walking ATM machine? It can ruin your retirement. It can leave you financially destroyed. It'll leave you running back home, seeking the help of your friends and your family, and maybe even the government for that old nursing home for somebody to take care of you in your old age. Why does loneliness make you vulnerable? Well, a lot of guys are lonely when they're back in the States. As we get older, we're in our 60s, we're getting ready to retire, or maybe we've already retired, and we lose our spouse. A lot of guys are widowers. They've been happily married for a long time, and then they lose their wife, and they become very lonely. They become very depressed. Life has changed. They're no longer in a good relationship. They don't have a good partner. They're on their own. And loneliness kicks in, and they start thinking, maybe there's something better in life. There's something for me to do other than walk around the neighborhood, having the neighbors always worrying about me. Are you all right? You want to live your own life. You want to feel important. You want to feel wanted. And that loneliness can drive you to leave your home country and seek a new life in a different country. There's also the guys like me who've been divorced for a long time. You've been single for many years. While you were working, you stayed busy. You worked during the day. In the evening, you went out a little bit. Maybe you bowled or you played pool. But now that you're retired, creeping in on old age, which retirement is, we're old now, you're lonely and you head out to other places. And the thing with loneliness is a lot of people can smell that on you from far away and take advantage of you. That could be back in your home country, and especially overseas when you're living by yourself. You don't have any friends. You don't have any family here. You're relying on your own instincts to make good friends. Also, the feeling you don't have so many good years left. You're 65, you're thinking you got one more good decade in you, and you want to spend it enjoying your life. Desperation can set in. You don't want to die alone. You're looking for a good partner to be with. You've seen it on all the YouTube channels. You've read about it, how older men come to the Philippines or go to a foreign country, and they meet the love of their life. Somebody younger, somebody more vibrant, somebody who brings a breath of fresh air to your life, makes your life better. It's like having bacon for breakfast every day. It's just a good thing to have somebody who you love or you care for in your life. And you start to worry about dying alone. You don't want to spend your old age alone. You don't want to end up going back to the U.S. and going in a nursing home. That's my nightmare scenario, leaving the Philippines, going back to the States just to be put in a nursing home. We all have that fear of dying alone. Nobody wants to die alone. I don't care what people say, what they say in the comment sections, how being single is better than being married. Maybe you don't have to be married, but you do need someone in your life. You don't want to be alone. And especially when you get much older, you don't want to be alone. And the dangers of settling for less. Guys, you don't want to settle for less with a country you choose to live in or a partner. You don't want to choose somebody or someplace because it's easy or it's cheap. You need to live somewhere that you enjoy living there. Maybe it's close to the ocean, up in the mountains, maybe somewhere where they speak Spanish, somewhere where they speak English. Maybe it's Europe. Wherever you want to live, decide as a location. That's where I want to live. I'm going to be happy living there. I don't want to live somewhere else. That is the location for me. Hopefully, you spent a couple trips there, you spent a little vacation time, and you found the perfect place for you. Once you're in that perfect place, then you should start looking for a partner. But be careful. Don't pick a spot just because it's cheap, because you get what you pay for. It doesn't have the conveniences of modern living like you're used to. You're not going to get all the television stations you want to watch. You're not going to be able to watch the Browns play football on Sunday or the Yankees play baseball every day. Sports is going to be hard to watch. I'm not going to be able to watch Ohio State every Saturday if I live somewhere cheaper, someplace more rural. The few joys that I have left in life, I don't want to give up on those. And you don't want to ignore your health. Health is a major factor. Just because you're living somewhere cheap doesn't mean your health is taken care of. Maybe there's no hospital close by. Maybe you're living very rural. You have to choose wisely. And out of desperation, don't pick someplace because it's cheap. Pick someplace that is comfortable. But you have to live within your means. I totally understand that. So you have to balance where you're going to live from your means, the amount of money you have, the cost of living you can afford, and the area you live in, the quality of life that you want to have. Don't be desperate and pick just someplace cheap because some blogger said, hey, you can get a beautifully furnished apartment here for $80 a month. Don't believe that shit. Go check it out yourself. Don't forget about your emotional needs. Those needs, a lot of guys are going to say, hey, I don't need any foreigners to talk to. I'm fine by myself out in the wilderness. Hey, this is not Survivor, that you watch on CBS. This is not Survivor where there's a TV crew and doctors hiding around the corner as you live primitive. But if you get into a desperate situation, they're there to save you. There's no one here to save you. So make sure your health and your emotional needs are all taken care of, and have some hobbies. Stay busy. Some people tell me I work too hard with YouTube, but I find YouTube to be a great hobby. Keeps me occupied, keeps me out of trouble. Being somewhere where people are respectful to you and nobody is taking advantage of you. Those transactional relationships that develop out of your need to having somebody around. You have to make sure that's the right person for you. There's nothing wrong with a transactional relationship, but make sure it's a relationship you want. We're all looking for that life that our fathers had or our grandfathers had, that traditional values that you can find. And as you get older, she's going to go from your girlfriend to your wife to your caretaker. Make sure everything is in order of what you need. You remember, you have to take care of yourself first. You always have to worry about you. It's good to worry about others. There's nothing wrong with you caring about other people and worrying about the needs of other people, but you have to take care of yourself and use your street smarts and your years and years of living, looking at fake people, fake friends. Make sure you can see that here. Look through people to see if they're real and fake. Test people sometimes. But don't just settle because you're desperate and lonely. Don't settle for anything because of those two needs. It's going to lead you to financial ruin if you just settle because you're desperate and lonely. So we talk about walking ATM machines. What is a walking ATM machine? Well, that's somebody who has plenty of money and they're going to exchange their money for love and affection. You start paying for the affection. You start saying, hey, let's go out to dinner, and not just an easy, simple meal. You go out a lavish meal. You go somewhere that's out of your budget. You're showering somebody with attention financially. You're buying them things that they normally wouldn't have. It could be you're buying them clothes, you're buying them jewelry, you're buying them a bag, you're taking them shopping, you're buying them Nike shoes, and you're buying them an iPhone. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let the relationship build slowly. Don't become a walking ATM machine. Don't be going to the machine to take money out to support the family. This is something that happens over a course of time, and you have to spend time with that person. I'm going to say give it at least a year together before you make that total commitment to marriage or anything else. Give it some time, especially if you just got out of a relationship back at home, you got through an ugly divorce, your spouse passed, and you're desperately seeking attention. You're seeking the attention of almost anybody that will talk to you. The first woman you meet all of a sudden becomes the most beautiful woman in the world and totally in love with you, and you totally love her. Those fantasy stories don't really happen like that. It happens once in a while, but the vast majority, no way. Don't fall in love with the first pair of eyes that looks at you. And buying someone property or a business thinking that you invest in them, you're buying their loyalty. It doesn't work that way. Don't buy anything for anybody unless you're financially protected. If you're buying a business for somebody or if you're buying property, make sure you're involved, you're on the title, you're in the transaction. If it's something small, you're just helping somebody, with a couple $100 here and there, that's one thing. But if you're making the investment of all the money you have with somebody you just met, that's a disaster happening. You're going to be on the next plane home. You're going to be calling the embassy. Not only that, you're probably going to end up on my channel as one of the stories of an expat that went broke. The true cost of money and dignity. If you lose all your money, if you give away all your money, it is a financial disaster. Your self-esteem takes a big hit. You're worse off than you were when you first got there. Loneliness is even worse now because you knew you were deceived. Somebody, they like robbed you of not just money, they robbed you of your dignity, your retirement. And also, you end up lonelier now than you were when you first got here. And now you're depressed. But not only are you lonely, or even more lonely, you're more broke. You have less money. Total depression sets in. And what can you do? Once you lose all your money, you have no choice but to go back and beg your family and friends to help you. So what really matters to make a good retirement? Well, one is finding friends, man. Make sure you make friends when you come somewhere. I'm in the Philippines. We'll talk Philippines. You arrive in the Philippines, you're up in Cebu or Dumaguete or wherever you end up going. Make good friends. Get on some expat groups. Meet people for coffee. Meet people for a drink. Make some good friends, reach out. Don't be lonely every day. Message somebody in the morning, hey, I'm going to Tom Tom's for coffee. You want to join me? Start building a circle of friends, a circle of people you can talk to. That's going to help the loneliness. It's not going to save you from the loneliness you might experience at midnight, but it'll get you through the day. It's a start. And you're going to improve the quality of your life day by day here. You're going to meet new people. You're going to start meeting girls to date. And it's a thing called dating. You're going to meet somebody, you're going to like them, you're going to go out a few times, and then you're going to meet somebody else. And hopefully everything works out for you in the long run. When you first meet somebody and you start going out with them, have some boundaries, emotional and physical and financial. Set the boundaries. Know in your own head how far you're going to go with this girl. And I know, when we're talking about the physical boundaries and the emotional boundaries, those are wide open for interpretation. But you have to set, the boundaries. Are you going to invite her over to your place? Is it a hotel, not your home? Are you going to offer to have her spend the night? Are you paying for a hotel? Are you just paying for the trip down and dinner? Or are you compensating her for some other stuff? If she's a single mom, are you helping her out with like babysitting? Something of this nature. And remember what I said before, make sure you pick a place that matches your lifestyle, someplace you enjoy, someplace you can call home. You can become a resident of that city, that town, or that area that you're in and call that home. And that's going to make for a better retirement for you. You're going to be able to keep your sanity. You won't get that lonely because you're going to build friendships with people around you. You're not desperate anymore because you have a place to live. You have a routine. There's things you do. Desperation. Please take desperation out of the equation as soon as you can. And guys, remember, we all don't get tens. Choose somebody who fits the lifestyle you want, somebody who you enjoy being with, somebody who is real, somebody who fits all your needs. Be selfish in this regard. Have a check sheet of everything you want out of a woman. And if you can get 8 out of 10, you've hit a home run. Find somebody who is right for you, perfect for you. Don't worry about what others think. You get these guys walking around, they only date 8, 9, 10s, man. I think you should date the best woman for you and somebody with a heart that is an 8, 9, or 10. If that woman has a good heart, she's going to take care of you. You're looking for a life partner. You're not looking for a weekend getaway. Well, maybe you are, and that's a whole different story. But for those of us who are looking for long term, you're looking for somebody who has a heart, somebody who cares, somebody who is honest, and somebody you can trust. Trust is a big issue here. And how to avoid becoming that ATM machine. Well, one, don't be giving out the money all the time. Don't let people know you have money. It should be a secret. When people ask you what kind of budget you're on, an expat, a foreigner, you're having coffee and they're talking, oh, I live on 2,000 a month. Some guy's going to brag he's on 4,000 a month. Tell him you're on 1,000 a month. Don't let anybody know how much you have. It is up to you what you have. Because I'm going to tell you something. People like to borrow money. And once you have good friends, they're not going to ask to borrow money. But people you just meet, they're going to quickly borrow money from you because they think because you're lonely, because you're desperate, they can smell that you're lonely. Like I said, they can smell it a mile away. The vultures come out. So set your own boundaries. Don't let people know your business. Never run into any joint ventures, man. I've seen guys who've emailed me, messaged me, hey, Mike, I want to open up a restaurant. You want to become partners? Hey, Mike, I want to open up a coffee shop. You want to be partners? Don't get involved with any business transactions, joint ventures, partnerships. Uh, Keep to yourself, enjoy your life. You've left that business world behind you. Now, after you've been here a while and you meet some good close friends and you're sitting there and you all decide you want to do something, that's a different story. But let some time go by. But better yet, don't invest in businesses. Your job is to make the best with what you have. Whatever your pension is, whatever your savings, every month you have a job not to exceed your budget. Don't spend more than you have. Start to save some money. Make some smart decisions. That's your business. That's how you run your business. Make it profitable by saving a little bit of money every month. If you save $1 every month, your bank account grows by $1 every month, you're winning the ball game. You're spending less than you make. And stay away from investing. All these people that come here and say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to invest in the stock market. You're going to make a fortune. Hey, I'm going to teach you how to buy and sell gold. You're going to get a fortune. I'm going to teach you how to buy crypto. You're going to get a fortune. So many people are just trying to separate you from your money. Protect yourself at all times. It's your money. Once it's gone, where are you going to get more? There's nothing wrong with talking to experienced expats. You know, guys that have been here 6, 7, 8, 10 years. You can talk to them and get their advice. They've been here 2 years. That's 2 years longer than you. 3 years, 3 years longer than you. I think there's a difference between pre-COVID expats and after COVID expats. So the advice you get, you have to take with a grain of salt. Does it fit your needs? The one thing I say a lot to a lot of people is learn from other people's mistakes. I don't want to learn how successful you are, how you became that successful. I want to hear about your mistakes, just like this house I'm trying to build. I don't want to know how you did it right. I can see how you did it right. You've told me how you did it right. I want to know about your mistakes. What would you have done different? Learn from everybody's mistakes. Where's the first place they live? A lot of guys say they come into town and they stay in a hotel until they find an apartment. Well, after being here for a few years, I've decided the best bet is to get Airbnb and rent a motorbike and drive around and find the area you want to live in. Airbnb has everything. It has your Wi-Fi hooked up. It pays the electric. It's one flat fee for everything. You have plates and dishes and a refrigerator, and you have everything you need. It's the best way to start your stay here in the Philippines. That's my advice. But you have to find out for yourself. Since you haven't been here yet, you have to take someone's advice. Either get an Airbnb or book a hotel while you're looking for an apartment. Rent a motorbike, check out the city that you've chosen, find what part of town you want to live in, but don't give up your money easily. Think hard on a good business transaction. Build a good, strong social network before jumping in romantically with a woman. Make sure you settle into the town that you're going to choose to live in. Is it Dumaguete, Leyte, wherever you choose? Iloilo, Rojas City, people are talking about. Enjoy the city. Find yourself a home. Find an apartment, place to live. Decorate it. Get your transportation down pat. Build up a relationship with a few friends, and then start meeting people. Because the best way to meet anybody is through networking. The more good friends you have, the more likely that their girlfriend or their wife is going to have a good friend for you to meet, and they will introduce you. And the biggest thing I can say to you guys to stop from being overly depressed, lonely, and just losing your way here is choose quality over quantity. Choose a quality girl over dating 10 different girls. Choose quality friends over having a dozen friends. Choose quality. When you buy something, if you buy a motorbike, buy the best bike you can buy for the money you're going to spend. Shop around, make the right choice. Think it over. Be smart. Use your street smarts. You're 60 years old, 70 years old. You've been around a long time. Kick the tires a little bit before you spend your money. And spending a lot of money at one time without thinking, go home and think about it for 2, 3, 4 days. Decide, do I really need that item? Because if you buy a 55-inch TV in the apartment you're renting, and then 3 weeks later you meet a girl on a different island, how are you going to take that TV with you? You're not. Be careful with the decisions you make. Old, lonely, and desperate. They equal being an ATM machine. Come here and start a new life, a new way of living. Enjoy the reboot to your lifestyle. Choose quality over quantity. Improve your lifestyle, but don't give up on your health and your emotional well-being. Don't give money so you have somebody to like you. Don't force people to like you because you spend money on them. Let organically have that relationship grow. You can be lonely and alone, but it's better to be lonely and alone than to be with just one person who sees you as a paycheck. Make sure that's the right person for you. Vast majority of men end up running back home is because of the financial ruin of a bad relationship. Okay, guys, until next time, thanks for watching.